Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Monday, November the 15th, 2021. Appreciate you all tuning in. We are back here on this Monday, back in studio, of course, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Of course, guys, I am Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow, the Spurs Up Show, as always. And again, here on a bit of a therapy Monday, if you will, although my mood has been improved significantly after seeing, in case you missed it, South Carolina Clemson will officially be a 7:30 kickoff at Williams-Brice Stadium under the lights. Thank goodness for a night game against the arch rival. Again, we're taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I want to hear from you. Again, of course, we're talking Missouri Gamecocks falling over the weekend, 31-28. Disappointing to say the least. And you see behind me, they are who we thought they were. And I'm speaking, of course, in reference to the Gamecocks. Rocket Main, Travie, Brennan M, Daddy O, Cody Gaskins, Christopher Miller, let's see, Eric Fryer, Noah Johns, Brennan Wagner, Justin Warren, Lance Player, Tanner Lantoine, Love Kicks, Wesley Newmar, Austin Greer. I see all of you. What is going on also from the Big Cock Club Discord? Head over to the TDC Questions channel to be sure that your questions are answered. Guys, before we get into everything, again, I want to hear from you. 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls. Before we dive into it, I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms. They represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item. You're not just a number. You're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. Guys are going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. Been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it might be. The last thing you should be worried about in dealing with is dealing with paperwork, worrying about the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, they're friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Okay, it is South Carolina Auburn week, but of course here on this Monday, this therapy Monday, if you will, we are talking Gamecocks, Mizzou, South Carolina falling to the Missouri Tigers. And guys, like you see on the whiteboard, and some of you may not like to hear it, but the Gamecocks are who we thought they were. That's my greatest takeaway from Saturday. If you listen to the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 536, of course, that is my greatest takeaway, that we sat here all week last week, and we all felt good about ourselves, and we all patted ourselves on the back, and we all celebrated. And, hey, I gave even more credit than was probably deserved to a few players, to a few coaches, to whoever. And we enjoyed it, right? It was fun. It was very fun last week, this time last week for sure. But we all knew as the week wore on, right, the reality of, hey, we actually have to go play another football game. That reality became a reality very quickly. And as I told you all last week, I am optimistic. I am cautiously optimistic, but I am optimistic nonetheless. Before the game started, about 10 minutes before kickoff, which, by the way, shout out to those who came out to the Carolina Ale House location in Fort Mill. Truly appreciate each and every single one of you. But I told those who were around me, nothing will surprise me. Nothing will surprise me. While I am confident, nothing will surprise me. And so what happened Saturday afternoon, Saturday night against Mizzou did not surprise me in the slightest. I was not nearly as upset as you would have thunk I would have been. Wasn't nearly as upset because I think all the real Gamecock fans, we didn't want to believe it. We didn't want to believe it. But all the real Gamecock fans, They at least knew this was a possibility. They knew it was. A tale as old as time. Gamecocks football gets a big win, feels great about themselves, and then basically falls flat on their face. I mean, that it's a tale as old as time, guys. And again, it goes back to this, though. They are who we thought they were. This Gamecocks football team, just because they beat Florida, they didn't necessarily turn a corner. This team just is who it is. It's a ragtag bunch of Gamecocks with a first-year head coach and a first-year bunch of coaches. That's who they are. And it's okay. Hey, you're 5-5. The sky's not falling. You got 2 more great opportunities at home, guys. Again, I look at the rest of the season with a positive outlook. Was Saturday very, very, very disappointing? Absolutely it was. But I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm not looking at this season with a negative scope the rest of the way. I mean, again, you return home, a place you played very well. You play 2 teams. Hey, one just lost their starting quarterback for the season, and the other's your arch rival who has looked like complete dog all year. I mean, things set up fairly well, in my opinion. Both night games at home. If that don't fire you up, I don't know what will. Again, I won't blame a single Gamecock for being disappointed today and upset and want to kick and scream because, hey, that's your right, and I don't blame it. That was a terrible loss. That was a disappointing loss. But, there's a lot of good that can still come from this season. And maybe what the last few weeks have taught us, guys, and I mentioned this on the podcast, maybe here's what the last few weeks taught us. Maybe it's a good idea to not overreact one way or the other to the extreme. Because the last few weeks, the slapdicks have been all over the place. The slapdicks have been all over social media. You lose to Texas A&M, fire everyone, bench everyone, everyone's terrible, get rid of the program, leave the SEC, etc., etc., etc. That one festered through the bye week. We go into Florida. Nobody giving this team a chance. We're going to lose every game we have left, etc., etc., etc. You beat the Gators. All of a sudden, the narrative flips to the other extreme. This is the greatest team ever. These coaches are awesome. Jason Brown's the savior. We've improved as a football team. We're the greatest. We're not going to lose another game. That was the narrative all last week. And now we sit on Monday, and people have flipped back to the other side. Maybe the lesson should be, guys, this team is bipolar. This team is inconsistent. But siding on one extreme or the other is not a good idea. And it's not healthy for your sanity, if we're being totally honest. So maybe the take on a Monday should be Saturday was its own individual game in the 2021 football season. It does not mean anything going into the Auburn game. And it doesn't mean anything going in the season finale. It is what it is in that particular game. The same reason why folks are convinced we won't win another game is the same reason why we might win them both. Is because we're just so damn bipolar and so damn inconsistent. I mean, who really knows at this point? Who knows? So the extreme reactions, I mean, there's many of you out there that are bitching, moaning, complaining, and having these extreme reactions that were on the other side of the extreme just a week ago. Maybe if I was reacting to the extreme, calling for heads, calling for jobs, calling for quarterback changes, maybe I'd get more views. Maybe I'd get more clicks. And maybe that's something people expect of me, especially since today is a year to the date of the day that Will Muschamp was fired. And yours truly, of course, led that train. But that's just not where I am in year 1 of a head football coach. We knew this season was going to be a roller coaster. We knew this season was going to be up and down. We knew there was going to be some turmoil. We knew there'd be some bright spots, but we knew there'd be some lows as well. And hey, I picked you to lose in the preseason at Mizzou 30-28, and you lost 31-28. So if you didn't think it was going to be an up and down ride, I don't know what to tell you.
Sir.
All right, let's jump to the phone lines here. Justin, what's going on, man? How are you?
Not much. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's up?
Hey, Chris, I don't understand about South Carolina, man. Why can't South Carolina be more aggressive,
Why can't South Carolina be more aggressive? You think that's why they lost?
Well,
I mean, I would argue they were very aggressive. I would argue we abandoned the running game far too quick. I mean, I didn't see, I don't know. I didn't really see like a lack of aggressiveness necessarily. Just, I think when we were trying to be aggressive, we didn't execute. So, I mean, I mean, sure, could you take more shots? I mean, I guess you could just throw it deep every play, but I thought we abandoned the running game way too quickly in the second half, to be totally honest.
Oh, yeah. And Chris, the thing about the running game, it disappears so quick,
Yeah, the offensive line's garbage. There ain't no other way to put it. The offensive line sucks, and, again, I made a point on social media on Saturday night, and it'll piss some off, and we can talk about it more after the call and stuff, but, Jason Brown wasn't the savior against Florida. That's really what Saturday night proved to me, and that was something that, I had a lot of fun early last week giving Jason Brown his due and his credit. And I'm taking nothing away from the young man. Played great football. I didn't think he played really terrible football Saturday against Mizzou, but the reason the Gamecocks beat Florida is because they won in the trenches and they ran for 284 yards. That's why. It ain't because some quarterback came in and he was the savior and the offensive line all of a sudden wants to play for him, quote unquote, which is the wildest narrative I've ever heard in my entire life, that guys would not want to play for one guy but do want to play for another. It's total horseshit. But the reason you beat Florida is because you dominated the man in the trenches up front. You didn't do that Saturday. It's very simple formula of this team. You run the ball, you stop the run, you win. You don't do those things, you lose. So the offensive line, they are who we thought they were. They're just not very good. And, I don't know, again, this team's bipolar. They're inconsistent. Maybe you can find magic in a bottle and that offensive line can come back to life against Auburn or Clemson. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think it's likely, but you never know. But, yeah, man, when you run for 1.6 yards per carry against basically the worst rush defense in college football, yeah, that's going to raise some eyebrows and some questions for sure. I'll tell you this, I will be absolutely shocked if Greg Atkins is a part of this staff after the season. I think he's a dead man walking. I think there's absolutely no way Shane Beamer allows Greg Atkins to stick around. Absolutely no way.
Yeah, and Chris, the thing about this is, look, this soccer is like Mr. Jekyll Hyde,
Say it again. What'd you say?
And Chris, this soccer is like Mr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. For sure.
Yep. And Chris, like I said, man, nothing has changed, man. It's the same thing,
Yeah, I mean, again, it's year one. It's year one of Beamer. You're 5-5. I mean, here's the thing, man. It's hard for me to be upset because you're exactly where I picked you to be in the preseason. I mean, I had you 5-5 going into Auburn. I had you losing to Mizzou, but beating Auburn. Again, I didn't see Clemson in the preseason nearly as winnable game as it is now. So that's a positive. But, yeah, man, I mean, listen, again, I'm sticking with what I said before the season and what I said even last week, guys. You go 6-6, you had a great year. With this bunch of players and a bunch of new coaches, everybody is needs to get better. But, man, if you can be needing to get better and be where you are but be a bowl team, that to me is just a huge accomplishment, man. Again, program that won 6 combined games the last 2 years. That's the reality. So you go 6-6 this year. And, again, what's so funny, and I'm going to talk about this more after we get off the phone with you, is just this season is truly boiling down to the Clemson game. I mean, that's really all it's coming down to. It doesn't even matter what you do against Auburn. It really, man. You know as well as anybody, and any Gamecock will admit, it didn't matter what you did against Florida. It didn't matter what you did against Mizzou. It don't matter what you do against Auburn. If you beat Clemson, all the wrongs of the season are righted. This is a classic Carolina Clemson football year. And what I mean by that is before Clemson went on their run and everything else, both of these teams will deem success or failure of the 2021 season off of that game alone. Both of them will. Because again, Gamecock fans were such degenerates. If we beat Clemson, all's forgiven. We had a great year. Extend Shane Beamer. Everyone's great. It'll be that overreaction just like we saw against Florida. That's what the entire season's coming down to, which is cool. It's fun. In some ways, it's a little sad, I guess, but that's just the reality right now. So, going to be fun in a couple weeks. But of course, you got Auburn first, and you got an opportunity to go ahead and get that 6th win, and not have to worry about punching your ticket to bowl eligibility. I will say though, on that note, and again, I know I'm rambling here, Justin. On that note, I said it a couple weeks ago. I said in a sick and twisted way, I hope we're 5-6 going into Clemson. I kind of do, just so we could punch that bowl ticket against them. However, in saying that, I mean, I would love to beat Auburn and Mike Bobo for obvious reasons. But, yeah, man, I mean, again, I don't see the point in throwing in the towel after the Mizzou game. Did it suck? Yes. I mean, it absolutely did. Is anybody shocked by what happened on Saturday that this team played that? We knew what this team was capable of, both positively and negatively. So, again, you just have to hope that the better version of this football team comes out in at least one of the next 2 games. Will it happen? Only time will tell, my friend. Only time will tell.
Oh yeah, and Chris, while you out here, man. And Chris, we just got to hope we got chances, man. We got to find a way to be Auburn Clemson, to get this way off our monkey bag,
Yeah, we need to find a way to win one of the next 2, no doubt. I mean, again, Auburn's without their starting quarterback, and I know TJ Finley's their guy now. I know TJ Finley's their guy. And obviously we all know his history and what he did last year against us at LSU. But last year was last year. I don't particularly worry about it. Last year was last year. I know the narrative this week will be, oh my God, he's going to shred us again. You know what I mean? But I find a way to win one of the next 2, man. You got them at home at night. There's no excuse to lose both, in my opinion. There's absolutely no excuse.
Yep.
So,
well, Chris, that's all I say, man.
Justin, thank you so much for the call, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Guys, let's get to your questions. There's tons of questions I've missed out on here. Eric Fryer says, for those who have a slapdick take ready to go today, don't be TP. I hear you, Eric. I hear you. Brendan Wagner, can we please fire Greg Atkins now? I don't think any any changes are happening till after the season. Daddy-O says, hopefully Chris won't talk kind of football today. Again, I am much more upbeat and positive today than you'd expect after a disappointing loss because I guess just because of the opportunity that awaits in the last 2 games. And by the way, guys, get this. The spread for South Carolina Auburn has already dropped. Gamecocks are less than a touchdown underdog. The spread now, Gamecocks are plus 6.5. Wow. I mean, if that doesn't tell you right there, you should expect a good ball game. I don't know what will. Lance says, we getting trashed at the tailgate next weekend against Clemson. I'm telling you what, Lance, I'll tell you this. I'm going to do my best to keep it together for Clemson. I can make no promises, though. If I get litty at the Clemson tailgate, you know what? You want to judge me, so be it, because we're going to have a damn good time at that TSUS tailgate. Busch Lattes, it has never been a worse day in the history of Busch Lattes than the Clemson game day will be to be a bad day to be a Busch Latte. Let me put it that way. Daddy-O, we had 57 rushing yards against the second worst rushing defense in the United States of America. I hear you, man. Trust me. I can't comprehend it either. KG True Player. Yeah, Morgan Wallen coming to Columbia. I will definitely be there. Big fan of Morgan Wallen. Rocket Maine, when I saw Sanford put up that many on Florida, I knew our win wasn't as big as I thought, but it was still proud to be a Gamecock. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the Florida win, but that definitely, gave you an indication, I think, early in the day, like, maybe. Rhett Godbowl, biggest question, why didn't Beamer make an adjustment to the Mizzou blitz? How do you know he didn't? How do you know are we really going to give credit to the offensive line that they would have held their blocks had that been the case? I just don't think they made the adjustment. I just don't think the adjustment was made by the damn players. Hunter Herlong, plays were there, especially in the pass game, but Jason Brown is running for his life. The O-line's terrible. Also would like to see JB do something other than his turnaround move. Every time he's under pressure, then again, he wouldn't have to do it as often. The O-line would block the guy. Yeah, listen again. Jason Brown, I know he's got his favorite moves. Teams see that on film. You know what I mean? You're not going to live doing that. You're not going to live doing that forever. Let's see. Randall Mathis, well, the chance of getting to 6 wins has been somewhat far-fetched because Auburn and Clemson are better than Mizzou. I'd argue Florida's better than Mizzou, though, Randall. I know Florida's in disarray, but I'd still argue they're better than Mizzou. Twan Love Kicks says, I'm sorry, Chris, I have no faith in this offensive line. Neither do I. Daddy, this team treats you like my mother-in-law. That sounds like a fun time. Let's see. Therapy Monday in session. Bad Brad 757 in the TDC Questions channel says, in your opinion, do you think our chances of beating Auburn decreases, increases, or stay the same with the Bo Nix news? I think it increases, actually. I mean, listen, again, I know, we think of TJ Finley, what happened last year, but he is their backup quarterback for a reason. For sure. Let's see. Brian Dean, Josh Van continues to be the go-to guy. Yeah, he's played incredible this year. Savannah Webster says Mizzou needs to have made adjustments. They stuffed Georgia even for a while against the run. I guess so. I don't know. Let's see. Philip Harris, anyone notice that Jason Brown does not run the ball ever Sure, it's because of our quarterback depth, but we need him to also be a running threat to help our run game, or Zeb might as well be back there. I think he uses evasiveness. I think he uses his mobility. Is he as fast as Luke Doty? No, he's not. No, he's not. Yeah, guys, in case you missed it, 7:30 kickoff against that team from the upstate in a week and a half. Going to be an incredible time at Willie B. Going to be, I'll tell you this, and I'll tell fans this right now. I don't give a damn what happens this weekend. I don't give a damn. Willie B better be jumping in 2 weeks. That's all I got to say. Willie B better be about to crumble to the ground in 2 weeks because of capacity. I don't care what happens against Auburn. You don't have a good excuse. Night game against the arch rival, the best chance you've had to beat them literally since 2013. The place ought to be rocking. There'll be no excuse to not show up for that one. That sounds like a no-brainer. I hate that I even have to say that, but yeah. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Mikey Henson, where was Juju on Saturday? I saw him on the field a couple times, but didn't touch the football. I don't know. I think he might have gotten himself in the doghouse, man, when he got suspended, honestly. Let's see. Courtney Washington, shout out to Trajan Jeffcoat for a good game. Rooting for the guy, the defensive end from Mizzou. Justin Langford says, I'm very iffy on our game against Auburn with former LSU quarterback TJ Finley at the helm. He flat out beat us last year. Well, that was a Muschamp T-Rob defense, so take it for what it's worth. By the way, guys, in case you missed that, today is the 1-year anniversary of Will Muschamp's dismissal from the University of South Carolina. So, fun stuff. I said it on social media, and I'll say it yet again. We might not be where we want to be right now, but thank God we aren't where we were. We'll just put it that way. Jacob Edwards, how much of the loss is on Beamer? Jacob, well, he's the head coach, so he takes the credit for the loss for sure. It goes on his record. Coach has got to coach. Players got to play. That's what it comes down to. John Kruger, my guy John, appreciate you coming out, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out. Again, guys, in case you missed it, 7:30 kick against that team from the upstate. 7:30 kick against Clem Sucks. Of course, though, it is Auburn week, and all my homies hate Mike Bobo. All my homies hate Mike Bobo, my friends. Again, I want to continue to hear from you, 843-790-3377, guys. And again, I want to address a comment that I had over the weekend on social media. If you don't follow us on Twitter, you might not have seen it. And again, I mean this with all due respect. Did I get carried away a bit last week with some of the content that I made early in the week in regards to the apology letter and stuff like that? And it's taking nothing away from Jason Brown, by the way. I thought he played fine football Saturday. We lost the game because we couldn't run the football. We couldn't block anybody. We couldn't win our battles at the line of scrimmage. And that's really what my entire point of the tweet was. But some, of course, who can't think critically, didn't comprehend it. What I said on Twitter was Jason Brown was not the savior against Florida. That's what Mizzou proved. It wasn't Jason Brown's doing. What do you mean, Chris? Here's what I mean. Jason Brown played beautiful football against Florida. Again, I think he played solid football against Mizzou, did enough to get us the dub. But what I mean by that is, again, the reason you beat Florida is because you finally woke up on a game day and decided we're going to be more physical than the man in front of us. We're going to whip his ass. We're going to move bodies out of the way. We're going to run the football effectively, and we're going to be the more physical team. That's why. Again, I know it's boring. I know it's simple, but it is just that simple. I'll go back to what I said middle of last week. Any quarterback on our roster would have had success with a running game that has 284 rushing yards. It's so funny. Again, I had multiple folks call in last week, and I respect their opinions fully, but Now I think they probably see the logic was flawed. I understand we want to put it all on the quarterback. I understand we want to give the quarterback all the praise when things go well, and we want to give the quarterback all the blame when things don't. And that's why it was so foolish last week that people were saying, well, it was the quarterback change that made the offensive line play so much better. No, it wasn't. It wasn't because the defense was accounting for the quarterback and it takes somebody out the box. No, it wasn't. It's just the fact that we finally lined up and pushed somebody around. That's it. It's that simple. There ain't nothing Jason Brown could have done on Saturday that would have made the O-line block. They just didn't. You got physically whipped up front. So, again, that was the point of my tweet. And I will say this, too. Jason Brown, by far, gives this team the best chance to win the rest of the way out. It's not even close. I don't think that's a debate. If anybody's calling for Zeb Nolan, that's insanity. That's pure insanity. At least, and you saw it a couple times, Jason Brown does give you the mobility, the escapability, the play he had, the touchdown throw to Josh Vann, a thing of beauty, right? A thing of beauty. Zeb Nolan could never. But even a guy with escapability and mobility needs blocking. There's no wonder why Luke Doty didn't succeed this year under this offense and, behind this offensive line. The key to the last two will be, can you run the football? If you can do that, you'll have a chance. Can you run the football? That's it. That's what it will come down to. If I'm Shane Beamer, if I'm that coaching staff, I'm just preaching physicality the last 2 weeks. That's all I'm doing. I'm preaching physicality the last 2 weeks. That's it.
Call from
Brian.
All right, let's jump to the phone lines. Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just hanging out. What's up?
It's hard to believe Florida's as bad as they are.
Terrible. Total disarray. I mean, guys have quit. And I'm not a big, I don't like to make those type of assumptions, those conclusions, because we're not in the locker room, but there just ain't no way a crew full of those recruits they've got, those players, are down to Samford at halftime and allow 42 points in a half. There's just no way. There's just no way. So, yep, things are rough in Gainesville. You sure hate to see it.
I mean, I find it really hard to believe that Dan Mullen survives after the season. I mean, his players and him were celebrating like they just won a national championship.
Yeah, and I mean, does Mullen even want to be there? That's the question. Does Mullen want to be there? I mean, there's been rumors of him wanting to get to the NFL for a while. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it would shock anybody if that marriage ends in this offseason.
Yeah, I kind of hope it doesn't. If we can beat Florida every other year, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's funny. Florida has turned into Mullen what we were with Muschamp. Please let him stay. Please let him stay.
Yeah, pretty much. But I bring that up because it just goes to show that our team's just not as good as a lot of people thought they were. And all those unrealistic predictions, people thought we were going to blow Missouri out of the water. We talked about it last week, man. I just didn't see it.
Blow them out and win every game we had left, man. I mean, the extremes were unbelievable. And I don't blame Carolina fans for feeling cocky, for lack of a better way of putting it, after a big win like that, and feeling optimistic the rest of the way out. Got no issues with it, but again, man, college football is just such a week-to-week game. It just is. And so I just, like I said, I think what the number one takeaway should be from the last few weeks of Carolina football is maybe it's a good idea to not overreact one way or the other. Just let it play out. I mean, just especially in a first year with a first-year head coach, and just let it play out, man, because you're going to have egg on your face one way or the other if you keep going up and down, up and down, up and down on the roller coaster. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we are who we thought we were, man. It's, it kind of is what it is, but that's kind of who we are. But, hey, who we are could win one of the last two. Hell, it could win both. I mean, we're that inconsistent and we're that bipolar. But, yeah. So, but you called it. I tell you, you called in last week and you called it. I give you kudos. You did not get lost in the sauce, if you will. You called it. Sounded like a true veteran Gamecock. So, hey, I applaud you for that.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that every week this season, I can't wait till Saturday just because I know eventually it's going to click. Eventually we're going to get one of those wins. Those wins we shouldn't get. Well, we finally got it against Florida, and that whole week I was like, man, I really don't want Saturday to come. I really don't want Saturday to come because I just know, we just got it in the back of our mind that it's going to end. So
yeah.
fortunately it did. We came out, we just, we didn't play good football. So, it really doesn't matter who we have back there at quarterback. Obviously Jason Brand gives us the best chance at winning at this point. Obviously we haven't seen what we got in Colton, but I don't think we should. Yeah, you can put Tom Brady back there. I'm still not sure it's going to make a difference.
Right.
And I just hope and pray that Jason Brown doesn't get hurt. I don't want to be going on our fourth string quarterback because he's just running for his life. Yeah,
I mean, again, the only quarterback that could probably have success behind our offensive line is Michael Vick, and I think even he'd struggle. Trust me, it's hard to comprehend, man. I say we are who we thought we were, and we are, but it truly is just, it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to comprehend how you can run for 1.6 yards per carry against basically the worst rush defense in college football. And you can say, well, Mizzou's improved, they've made strides. Come on, man, give me a break. Hey, if you don't run for 271, which was their average, so be it. But to run for less than 100, that's insane. So, nah, yeah. you ain't gonna convince me that wasn't just a shitty job. Ain't no other way to put it. So, again, if I'm that staff, my message around the building, preaching physicality. I mean, you want to win one of these last two, you're just going to have to, for 60 minutes, be more physical than somebody else. Kind of what you did against Florida. So,
the only reason I think we had any success against Florida was just the fact that we had 2 weeks to prepare. We had extra time to really, get some things in line, get some, certain plays pointed out, and Florida's just in disarray. Their defense coordinator, whether he was the issue or not, with them, without them, they suck. I mean, it's just playing out. They suck. They can't stop anybody. Yeah. So, and I just don't feel like we have that opportunity going forward. That was a once and done kind of thing, and we're gonna have to really earn one if we want one the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, hey, again, if you couldn't have asked, I guess, for the scenario to set up much better. You got both of them at home at night. I mean, got to defend your home field, man. Bottom line. I mean, we've played a lot better at home as well, but got to find a way to defend that home field, man. So,
I will say, I have nightmares about TJ Finley. I don't know how he played so good against us last year. I don't know how he did it, but we made that dude look like the best player who's ever played college football. And he looked like, he didn't rush as much, but he looked like Cam Newton out there. We just could not stop the guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. I mean, of course, I was at LSU last year, so I mean, I saw it firsthand. But I don't worry. I don't worry about that quite as much, just because, again, T-Rob, Muschamp, they're gone. I think that, I mean, will we be perfect defensively? Is there a chance we give up a big play in the secondary? I feel like we tend to give up one per game, at like one or two per game. You know what I mean? I more so worry about, looking ahead to Auburn, I worry about stopping Tank Bigsby. I worry about Mike Bobo scheming up the run against us. As much as we hate Bobo or whatever. I mean, it's all in good fun and banter and play, whatever. All my homies hate Mike Bobo. Like, do I actually go to sleep at night dreaming of hating the guy? No. But it is all fun and everything. But, Mike Bobo showed us last year, the guy knows how to scheme up a run game, and I hate to break it to everybody, but we can't stop the run on a consistent basis. So can we stop Tank Bigsby or limit Bigsby enough to give us a chance to win? Again, run the ball, stop the run. That's the key for this team, no doubt. So Finley, I mean, he was the backup for a reason. But with that being said, Bo Nix his track history on the road, man, I would have loved to – certainly would have loved to have seen him trot back out there. But, it is what it is. It's going to start with stopping the run, no question.
Yeah, it's funny because we have a history of making backup quarterbacks look like the greatest players in the world. So, right. I don't know what to expect there. Right. But it's funny because you actually almost read my mind, because that was my last point there was, between Tank Bigsby and Mike Bobo, we need to take it personal. Tank Bigsby was one of our highest rated recruits, coming in. He flipped to Auburn. And I don't take too kindly to that. And I'm hoping everybody else kind of remembers that and keeps that in the back of their mind. When they're lining up on that D-line, that, hey, that guy was supposed to be on our offense. He was supposed to be lined up, on our side. So, and between Mike Bobo, kind of leaving the way he did, I want our team, I want our guys to take that personal. And I don't want it to be a distraction, but a motivator.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I agree, man. Whatever you need to fuel you, just use it. So that's there's no getting around it. That's a huge storyline going into the game this week. And And again, I mean, how much will it matter once the ball is, toe meets leather and you got to play football? I don't know, but it's definitely a big storyline to follow as we go throughout the week.
Yep. All right, man, that's all I got.
Hey, I appreciate the call as always, my man. Thanks so much. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377, guys. We have a text here on the text line. It says, even though we lost to Mizzou by 3 and got borderline dominated on the line of scrimmage, you can say that again, I don't feel like last weekend was the worst version of the 2021 Gamecocks. I just hope we can get a packed house the next couple of weeks. Regardless of what comes to Auburn, let's make it hell for Clemson when they come to town. Let's play better at home and try to get a W over the next 2 weeks. One thing fans need to do is sit back, take a look, and think of where we were this time last year. Definitely in a better spot. Indeed. Yeah, certainly. Perspective will help. Perspective will help. Lance Player says, watch us hold Auburn at 73 rushing yards, and we rush for 220. That's some Gamecock shit right there. Lance, you are correct, my friend. Coach Ford, says, Mizzou had 2 interceptions that the refs hosed them out of. We should have been beaten far worse. Well, Coach Ford, the score is the score, my friend. The score is the score. Justin Langford, was Greg Atkins near Coach B on the sidelines like last week? I have no idea. Lance, my guy, says, let's take it like our baseball team. We lost our midweek game to Mizzou, but damn, we win the weekend series to close it out. Hey, I love that. Love that analogy. Why not? Brian Dean, it could be worse. Texas lost to Kansas, and Texas wants to play in the SEC. Yeah, you could be Texas today. What a rough one that is. Philip Harris Sr. was not happy with our performance. You could see it on his face. I think we'll see a much better team against Auburn. And I have to think so at night at home, man. I think we'll play better. So, Ryan Cawthorn, Doty won't start next year. I know there are a lot of Doty homers, but I'm sorry, I haven't seen him succeed in any game. I'm really not a Doty homer, Ryan. I just want the best player to play. So, hey, may the best man win the job. I think he should come back, no question. But, Coach Ford says we have a crap scheme. We have a guy running it that would not have been hired anywhere else. When Mizzou shut down the run, he had nothing else for him. Well, Coach Ford, if we can't run the ball, we can't succeed. What else do you want them to do? Coach Ford, we're exactly the same as this time last year. No, we are not. That is a lie, Coach Ford. That is just a stupid, idiotic take. Last year, this exact time, this exact day, we were firing our head football coach after getting blasted on the road against Ole Miss and blast after a defense that had given up like 159 points in the last 3 weeks combined. We are nowhere near where we were last year, Coach Ford. Stop your silliness.
From
Matt Bruno.
Matt, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking, man. What's up?
Just kind of wanted to get your perspective on some things we saw on Saturday. But so, I mean, we were kind of mentioning that, like, saw they abandoned the run early. And I'm just like, after you watch Florida, like, how do you it is baffling to me how you can do that. And especially with, like, having backup plays, having Satterfield having backup plays, if your linebackers are coming up, I don't even remember even seeing anything that he had even plays that could even pick that up. Then you go to a screen or something like that. It was I just have a hard time understanding why we don't have anything to you're abandoning everything going to that deep ball. Granted, Josh Van is been the player that he has been. It just didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, we have no answer when we can't run the ball. You are correct. How much of that is the offensive line can't block for longer than a second and a half? I don't know. I mean, again, it's. I'm not sitting here defending saying the play calling's been great this season. I'm definitely not. It's just hard for me to pinpoint it all in the play calling when, hell, half the time I don't even know if the play call is a good call because we can't block anybody worth a damn. So, I mean.
Yeah, and then one point that I always like to make is at some point, both aspects, and I'm talking coaches and players, are accountable on their own. Players have to play the game and execute what they're told to do, the same way as the coaches are held accountable to the scheme. Now, where Atkins is on that, I think his head is up his butt somewhere. We don't even know. But what's being told to the offensive line are, and then
the other things are just how they're working on the offensive line, whether there's changes being made at the line, whether that was Doty in the beginning and then Jason Brown with these, guys constantly being changed out, whether that could be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, and another point that I also wanted to make was, I'll get your take on this because just kind of how I feel about it. But do you think that this loss kind of nullifies what you did against Florida in the way that you beat Florida, with Florida being a top 10 team in the beginning? Granted, after that, back half of the year, they really fell off. They're just god awful now. Do you think that this just completely nullifies what we did against Florida, and then that win with Beamer, being a new coach, we were as happy as hell that Beamer got that win against Florida, being a decent team. Doesn't really, now there's the accreditation to that win is gone.
I don't think it takes away. I don't think it takes anything away necessarily. I mean, I understand why that would be the thought process, and you're sort of back to square one in regards to the scope of the 2021 season. But I more so look at the Florida win as like what it means for recruiting. And I mean, Florida's still Florida. They're still viewed in that scope. I know they're a mess. I know they're a dumpster fire right now, kind of dealing with the Mullen thing and but I still kind of view Florida as Florida, and beating them the way you did, I think that's something you can sell. Let's just say, for example, you split one of the last two, you do get to 6-6, you go to a bowl. Was losing to Mizzou disappointing? Yeah, but I don't think a loss to Mizzou necessarily defines the season. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's disappointing. I get where you're coming from in that. I do. I get where you're coming from in that regard, but I don't know. I'm really hesitant to say that it just, it just cancels out the Florida game. I mean, that I think that still stands out as something Beamer's, again, going to hang his hat on and say, hey, look, we can challenge the upper echelon of the East, because that's the way Florida's viewed. That's just the way they're viewed. So, no, I don't think it undoes all of the good you did, but I mean, certainly it's just disappointing that you couldn't build off of it more than you did.
Yeah, and I think lucky for us, still having 2 games left against a ranked Auburn team, and then always Clemson, and then just what they stand for, and their successes, and just kind of what the rivalry is. At least having been able to come back off of this. Now, if we would have got our butts handed to us even worse against Mizzou, the score reflected, a little bit. I think the argument could have been, as it, wiped Florida, but no, I think that's, good points. Thank God we still have those, and I guess we'll kind of see. Excited that they're both night games.
Yeah.
Hopefully, looking to be there for both. So, but no, just wanted to get your take, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate taking the call.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much. Great perspective, my friend. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I see Clemson Tigers is in here. It's crazy, man. Clemson beats UConn, and all of a sudden they're back. They're back. You know what I mean? So, great stuff. It just really on brand for that group. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Some of you guys taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Clemson Tigers, Phil, you're talking about Phil Harris. Okay. No, nobody's mad. I don't think Clemson Tigers, nobody's mad, man. I just hope you're in here next week. Next week is going to be a wild one. That's for sure. With it being rivalry. But of course, this week we've got the Auburn Tigers. Again, we're taking your questions, comments, calls. Guys, I want to continue to hear from you. 843-790-3377 as we try to make sense of just what happened over the weekend as the Gamecocks fall to 500 on this season, 5-5 overall with a disappointing loss to Mizzou, but a lot of opportunity on the way. 2 night games at home in case you missed it. The finale against the arch rival at home at night, 7:30 kickoff on the SEC Network. Going to be a really, really good time in that one, of course. And then, of course, this weekend you got the Auburn Tigers, 7 o'clock kick at Willie B. So, again, guys, I want to continue to hear from you, your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your calls, everything else here on a Monday, a therapy Monday, if you will. All that and more, guys, into the side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377 as we talk on this Therapy Monday, if you will, after South Carolina's 31-28 loss to the Missouri Tigers. But again, guys, also, I don't know, I'm just more giddy and excited on a Monday after a loss than I would normally be because, dude, you got back-to-back night games at home. I mean, you know, that to me sets up well for you. I mean, you couldn't ask for a much better finish to the 2021 football season. So, again, a pair of Tigers coming to Willie B and Auburn Clemson. Going to be a really good time. Again, guys, as you see on the whiteboard, they are who we thought they were. This South Carolina football team, and I guess that's what makes it so much fun or not fun in this 2021 season, is that this team is so erratic, so inconsistent. You know, just who knows, man? Who knows? Truly, who knows? Truly, who knows? But again, want to continue to hear from you, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Jacob Rogers says, can't believe we lost this game. Got to get one of the last two. I agree indeed. Man, got to get number 6. Got to get win number 6. Jeff Gullich, thought we lost. It was very disappointing. Poor performance by the offensive line and a missed opportunity to get the 6th win. Their time under Muschamp, we were flat out coached, but we had the players. This year is the opposite. I haven't felt we've been out coached. We just don't have the personnel, the players-wise, be consistent yet. Hope that makes sense. No, it definitely does. Definitely does. You know, you can lose football games with great players, but you cannot win football games without them. So, you know, you got to go get some big-time players for sure at a lot of different spots. Got to go recruit. Coach Ford says that, what does Coach Ford say? He says that beating Florida will mean squat to recruiting with the way Tennessee's coming on. Well, I don't know it. Coach Ford, you're an impossible to please. Satterfield must go. You know, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. There's just no point in getting all worked up and upset about that at this point because you're not going to make a coaching change with 2 games left, Coach Ford. You're not. They're not. So, I'll tell you this, Clemson Tigers. He says, all the mad Gamecock fans, and honestly, y'all should be thankful we can still consider you guys. Clemson Tigers, if you didn't consider us a rival, you wouldn't be in this chat right now. Let's see. Justin Martin, Chris, will Dan Mullen survive at Florida, and will Steve Sarkisian And also, guys, if you do want to talk basketball, I don't know what just happened there. Muschamp Packers are after it. Again, I was going to say, if you do want to talk basketball, we can. The men's splitting in the Asheville Championship 1-1. Women, of course, dominating South Dakota on Friday. Big matchup on Thursday, by the way, for men's against UAB. Women on Wednesday taking on Clemson, which that'll just be a complete blowout, so who cares? No, I'm just kidding. That'll be a big game, 7 o'clock. We'll be live at Tin Roof, by the way, Wednesday, guys, 5 to 7, and then we'll be tuned in immediately following to watch the women take on the Clemson Tigers. Again, Thursday, a big game against UAB. UAB's a good basketball team, really good basketball team. Can South kind of find a way to come together, shoot better, and get a big home win? Also, I do want to remind you guys, we've got our TSUS ticket giveaway with our good friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, TSUS ticket giveaway for this weekend's game against the Auburn Tigers. This weekend's game, giving away a pair of tickets in Section 8. The giveaway is being ran exclusively on Instagram. Go to the post. We posted this morning. Go to the post, like it, tag 3 friends, follow Dason and Shalabi Law Firm on Instagram for your chance to win. Again, I mentioned Tin Roof and, of course, the TSUS tailgate this weekend, guys. We'll be back out at Seawells. Spots 90 through 96. We'll be out at Seawells. Probably going to get out there about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Going to be a really, really, really good time. Going to be a really good time. So, let's see. I see all the banter in the comments. Everybody going after Clemson Tigers as they should. Brian Dean locking in a prediction early on this week. He's got South going to 30, Auburn 21. Man, that'd be a hell of a night. But hey, it's possible. So, AJ Bauer says play calling wasn't the issue in the game. For anyone who thinks Sat was one of the problems, then you're just blind. If the O-line blocks, we would have possibly won that game. I mean, again, people want to say, oh, it's the scheme. How difficult can the scheme be, bro? Satterfield's already told you, it ain't a complex scheme. We're just getting whipped up front. So, Bryant Hughes, to be honest, if I had to choose a Tiger team to beat these last two, it would be Clemson. And you know, I hear you, Bryant, and I'll tell you this, and this is something not even Clemson Tigers could deny. This season has truly set up as a classic South Carolina Clemson football season. And what I mean by that is this. Before that team in the upstate had their run under Dabo Swinney, before they had their run, you know, you're thinking to throughout the 90s, the early to mid to late even 2000s, you know, Clemson was a 6-win program, just like the University of South Carolina. They were a 6-win program. And for both of these schools, the season came down to when you were talking about deeming success or failure, do you beat your arch rival? On both sides, that was the thought process. And for the first time in a long time, that's exactly, I think, what we have this year. I mean, we can talk about Auburn. It'd be great to beat Auburn, guys. And, of course, I'm not looking past Auburn. But when you boil it down to it, that's what this season's coming down to. That's how each fan base will deem success or failure this year. Do you beat the rival? That's it. That's it, bottom line. So, you know, that's not even something, again, like I said, that Clemson Tigers can deny. So, that's not even something he can deny. Or she. It could be a girl. Who knows? Coach Ford said, boring, predictable scheme. Mizzou out-schemed in 2. He's not – Coach Ford, at this point, we get it, man. You're just beating a dead horse. We get it. Satterfield sucks. You know, Satterfield sucks. I mean, I get it, man. I get it. Clemson Tigers, being real with you, Chris, everything you said was true. I mean, again, it's both sides. I mean, again, I understand one side had national championship aspirations before the season. It didn't happen. But at the point we're at now, if everyone is honest with themselves, that is where we are. Both sides look at this game, both fan bases. Hey, if you win, you had a good year. If you lose, you didn't. So, and I guess, honestly, again, not looking past Auburn, but honestly, that's kind of exciting because that the rivalry has not had that juice in it in quite a while. So, I don't know. Again, first Auburn, and of course Monday here, this Therapy Monday, we're talking what happened over the weekend as the Gamecocks fall 31-28 to the Missouri Tigers. So, Jacob Rogers says, I still think we have 2 very winnable games and at home. You know, I tend to agree with you. Like I said, I think they're both very winnable. The spread for South Carolina Auburn has already dropped to 6.5 points. So, obviously, those throwing money on the game feel fairly good that, you know, this one's going to be a tight ball game. And I tend to think so as well. Again, I'm not going to make any predictions. Right now, but, you know, I tend to expect a close ball game. I tend to think South Carolina will come back home and play, I don't know if I'll say it's best football, but better football than it did this past weekend. Brendan M in the TDC Questions channel mentions the Muschamp Packers strike on the 1-year anniversary. They just can't help themselves, Brendan. They just can't help themselves. So, just cannot help themselves. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I want to continue to hear from you, taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Again, a lot to dive into here on a Monday. Let's see. Let's see. We had a question earlier I wanted to get to. Brian Beatty says, feel like everyone is overreacting to the Missouri and Princeton game. Still got plenty of time to finish strong. And still think we have a much better chance with Jason Brown behind the home for the next two. I agree. I'll tell you this, Brian, in regards to Gamecocks basketball. We're 2-1, and you went 1-1 over the weekend in that Asheville championship. It's still very early, guys. I'm not drawing conclusions on Gamecocks basketball, but I guess it's tough right now because I didn't expect you to be very good, and God, it's a tough product to watch. Let's call it for what it is. Right now, it's a tough product to watch. I mean, shooters shoot. We are just chucking up shots like it's nobody's business, like we've never missed a shot in the history of our program before with all the confidence in the world. So I guess I respect them for that, certainly. But this one, I'll tell you this. This one Thursday against UAB is big. I think it's a huge game. I just think it's a game that, you win this game, all of a sudden you say, okay, maybe things are a little ahead of schedule with a brand new roster, and this thing's headed in the right direction, and, you can build momentum in the non-conference of the SEC. You lose this one at home against UAB, and it's just kind of like, it just, feels like, well, here we go. Buckle up. So, I don't know. It's a big game. It's a very big game, in my opinion. John Gibbs says, it's hilarious when the Taters say this isn't a rivalry, little brother, but yet we live in their heads all the time. Rivalries don't mean numbers or history records. It means the hate we have for each other all year long, especially next weekend. Little brother's always in their heads, and they always watch Gamecock podcast. Pathetic little kitty cats. Indeed. Justin, I think it's safe to say Marcus was Beamer's number 2 or 3 pick for OC. I'm not sold it was his first choice. I wouldn't doubt it. Eric Fryer says, someone please ask Coach Ford if he's a season ticket holder. If so, I'll give him face value for his ticket so he can sit home and be a miserable fuck by himself. Coach Ford, you're on the clock. You're on the clock, my friend. Cody Gaskin says, Clemson better focus on Wake Forest, about to get walked at home. Yeah, that's I wonder, what is the spread? I don't know. I'll look it up later. I was going to say, what's the spread in that one? I think it opened up with Clemson as a 4-point favorite. Was wondering if there was a lot of movement or not. Yeah. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Appreciate you all tuning in. Let's see. 3.5 now. Okay, 3.5. Clemson Tigers says there's much better energy and a big-time vibe when the teams are even. The game is more competitive. It means a lot more. I mean, again, it's going to be one of the most, if not the most, hype Carolina Clemson game in quite some time. Coach Ford says, hell no, I am not a season ticket holder for this crap. I work too hard for my money. Well, that explains a lot then. I'm just going to warn you, Travis Ford or Coach Ford, that Eric Fryer is about to have a field day on your ass because y'all are both on Facebook. So RIP. Clemson Tigers is even more fun when Carolina fans have hope. It means we get to crush it again. Just don't throw bottles again like Tennessee. I love seeing the Clemson fan comments, which it's so funny. It feels like rivalry week is beginning this week, but I love seeing the comments on social media. Kickoff time was announced, and there's Clemson fans. Oh, watch out. Better wear your bulletproof vest. You know what? If that deters the bastards from showing up, then so be it. I'll bring a brick with your name on it. How about that? Huh? How about that? I don't really give a damn. If you're going to play stupid games, win stupid prizes, make stupid comments, get stupid responses, I don't really give a damn, bro. I really don't give a damn. No love lost. There'll be no mercy shown next weekend at Willie B. So let's see. Let's see. Cody Gaskin says Wake Forest is going to have a field day at Clemson this Saturday. Again, guys, time is rolling here on a Monday as we're already in the second hour of the Daily Crow. Again, appreciate you all tuning in, guys. Like I said, check out the podcast. Dropped this morning, episode 536, full breakdown, everything happened over the weekend with the Missouri game. We talked basketball, of course, your listener questions, your voicemails, and a great conversation, a throwback interview with former Gamecocks offensive lineman Nashawn Goddard. Really, really cool stuff. So, again, be sure to check that out. Great podcast. And then, of course, guys, the podcast, the Daily Crow, rolling all week long. We're live each and every single day, in case you did not know. Noon to 2 on the Daily Crow. Really looking forward to it. And, guys, again, it's hard to contain my excitement, I will say, for next week because, we didn't have the Daily Crow the last time these two teams played. And things just, there was no rivalry game last year. So it looks a lot different. And the content will be bleeding out of the eyeballs, rocking and rolling next week. I'm really looking forward to it. So let's see. Justin Martin, Chris, will LSU make it to a bowl game this year? I don't even know. I haven't kept up much with them. What is their record? Eric Fryer says, if you aren't a season ticket holder, you have zero invested other than your miserable existence that must be validated by a bunch of 18 to 22-year-old men who you enjoy bashing when they can't plug the giant hole in your life, and that is why I blocked this simpleton bastard. I encourage the rest of you to do the same. Drop the hammer, Eric. Justin says, basketball, happy to see us shooting more, even though it's bricks. Shows that Frank is trying to open the court up, but you're guaranteed to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But lost UAB, hit the panic button. Justin, that is definitely the motto of our team. You are guaranteed to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Eric Stevenson is my new favorite player, by the way. The dude just shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots and shoots again. And I respect it. AJ Bauer says, real question, what has happened to the defensive line? They couldn't stop Mizzou run game at all, and I thought we had one of the best units in the SEC. Now, it's a great question, AJ. And again, I'm hesitant to come after the defense as a whole because they're the ones that have kept us in ball games. But man, if we're really going to share blame, if we're really going to, if we're really going to hand out credit where it's due and blame where it's due, I mean, the defensive line, just the run game. I mean, you have not been able to stop the run on a consistent basis. Are you undersized? Do you put it on Jimmy Lindsey? I don't know. It's baffling. I mean, again, credit Mizzou, credit Tyler Beatty, what he's doing. He's a fantastic running back. But, yeah, it's really disappointing to watch us struggle to stop the run so mightily. Coach Ford says, I bashed the washed-out journeyman coach that we chose to saddle up with and flank the journeyman with zero experience head coach. Says he has not bashed any 18, 20-year-old men. Whatever. Y'all handle it in the DMs. Coach Ford said, I used to have season tickets dropped out on a champ, still out on a champ 2.0. See, now, Coach Ford said that's unnecessary. Calling Beamer Will Muschamp 2.0, I just think that's silly, man. That's silly. Again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think it's silly. Whatever. It is what it is. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Daddy-O, what's more frustrating, inability to stop the rush or inability to rush? I'd say inability to rush. Because I do think some of the problems come back to the fact we can't run the football and we're not staying on the field. And also, too, again, this season, what it's shown, if we were terrible defensively, I made this point earlier in the year. If we were 5-5 right now, but we were averaging 40 points per game, nobody'd be upset.
Call from
Robbie Davis.
All right, let's jump to the phone lines. We got our guy Robbie calling in.
to accept, press 1.
Robbie, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'd be doing better if my Steelers hadn't tied the 0-8, whoever the hang they played yesterday.
Yeah, the Lions. The Lions. I saw that.
Bro, I was like, really? This week couldn't have gotten any worse, and it just got worse. That's what I was thinking. I was like, we just tied the 0-8 Lions.
Love that.
There hadn't been a good weekend for me at all.
Love that for you. Well, hate that for you, but that is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. So
it is funny, but
yeah.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough. No team in the NFL will go defeated this season. So that's a little fun fact for you.
Yeah. Part of me thinks that one or two things need to happen at the end of the season. Okay. One, either you tell Greg Atkins you got one more year to fix the offensive line or you're done. Or you go into the recruiting part of the season for next year and you recruit some offensive linemen. Because by the looks of it, we ain't got an offensive lineman that can block a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, I'd have no issues just letting Greg Atkins walk. I mean, I think the job he's done with the offensive line is certainly a fireable offense. I'd have no issues with letting him walk. As far as Satterfield, would I care? Would I mind if Beamer wants to bring him back? Wouldn't bother me. Again, I don't put all of the offensive woes this season on play calling. I just refuse to do it. I will say, hey, and I just revert back to this. I trust Shane Beamer. He'll make the right moves. If there's a guy out there, maybe the guy he originally wanted is available, go get him. I'm fine. But if you fire Marcus Satterfield, you better have somebody better in mind. Because this whole idea of, well, just promote Justin Stepp to OC. Hell no. You really want to do that? You really want to hand the keys to the car a guy who's never drove? I mean, give me a break. If you want to go get a big-time proven OC, so be it. I got no issues with that. But the grass isn't always greener. I mean, and again, I just don't believe – I don't believe you can make a living shuffling OCs year after year after year. Hey, bring Sat back next year. The offense still sucks. Make the move. Got no issues. In it. But and if the guy's there available, then go get another one. It's going to be very interesting to see what Beamer does. I think if he wants to make a splash, he probably does fire Satterfield again. But there's got to be that no-brainer option waiting in the wings necessarily, if that makes sense. But I think Atkins has got to go. I think Greg Atkins is a dead man walking. If you ask me.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Okay, and like I said before, I want your honest and full 110% opinion. Okay. Just out of curiosity, was Greg Atkins the offensive line coach before he came to us, or no?
Oh yeah, no, he's been an offensive line coach for a while. Yeah.
Where was he the offensive line coach at? Do you know about that?
He was. I can tell you in 2 seconds. He was at Marshall. So his previous stops include Marshall, Charlotte, Oklahoma State, the Bills in the NFL, but he was a tight ends coach. Syracuse, Tennessee. So I mean, he's been, he's been at Tennessee, but it's crazy. He has not. His longest stop at any individual school is 3 years. So he hasn't been kept around a lot at many places. I mean, this dude has jumped around like crazy. So take it for what it's worth.
And like maybe he Beamer thought thought that Atkins was the right coach. Sometimes you gotta see how someone is before you know if they're a good coach or not.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've seen, from what you just read off to me, that many stops and who knows how many years.
Yeah.
That tells me something keeps going wrong every time he's coaching somewhere.
Something's not clicking for sure. Or maybe he just enjoys being a journeyman. Heck, I don't know. I don't know. But either way. I don't care about his previous stops. The job that has been done this season, is a fireable offense for me. I'm down with it. I will not shed a tear to see him walk. There's no question. So
I'm about where you're at. I look at it this way, okay? He's not one. I have no ill will towards Atkins whatsoever. No ill will towards him whatsoever. It's just maybe coaching in the SEC was not meant for you. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because there are some coaches, like for instance, whenever Pete Carroll went to Seattle, part of me didn't think he would do well at all.
Yeah.
Because he was at the other USC before he went to Seattle. So I honestly, part of me thought, okay, he's not going to do well. But he somehow does it very well coaching in the NFL.
Yeah. It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell. But again, I Beamer's going to have some decisions. No question. No question. And I'll tell you this, would it shock me if Beamer pulled the trigger on Satterfield and Atkins? And not at all. Not at all it wouldn't. I think that on one hand, I don't think, let me put it this way. I don't think Beamer's a Muschamp where he's going to be just, he's going to be quote unquote loyal to his guys. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I think
Basically,
Beamer,
buddy.
right. I don't think Beamer's going to be a guy that, I don't think Beamer's going to be a guy that dies on that hill. I think he wants to be here more than anything. So, but only time will tell. Only time will tell.
If he wanted to leave, he would have left for Virginia Tech in a heartbeat.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That tells me that he wants to be here for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's got to make some coaching changes at the end of the season to make sure that he stays here, he's going to do it. Because he wants to turn us back into a winning program.
Yeah.
That wins on a consistent basis. He wants to do that. And I truly believe that he can do that because he's helped us win before in the past.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, I obviously, man, I'm still all aboard the shame train. Hey, we're 5-5. We're not 1-9. So, yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're fine. I mean, Saturday was disappointing, no question, but 2 great opportunities at home under the lights, man. You return home and place your 4-1 this year, and you played much better at home. So, I maybe again, like I said earlier, maybe it's a good idea to not overreact to the extreme one way or the other. Because, again, it makes people look foolish. And I'm just going to call him out right now. When a guy like Coach Ford, when every time we lose, he is loud. He is commenting left and right. And I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the criticism. I have at it. Guys are paid millions of dollars. They're paid a lot of money to do what they do to put a product on the field. Get after them. But don't also tuck your tail and be a no-show the week after Carolina wins a big game. And you know what I'm saying? Like, or don't be the fan that is on one, during 1 week when you lose, fire everyone. This team sucks. And then after you beat somebody, it's, oh, actually everybody's great. And, this team's awesome. It's just like, maybe it just goes to show that we need to wait until the end of the season to evaluate the thing as a whole. Because if you go 6-6, I'm here to tell you, if you go 6-6, season was a success. I don't care about the offensive numbers. Hey, you found a way to go 6-6 and get a bowl game. You hit the goals and expectations of the season. Again, do changes need to be made within the program at OC? Well, you hired Shane Beamer to make those type of big boy decisions, so you got to trust that he will. You got to when Shane Beamer was hired, I think most believed that we hired a guy that would make the decisions in the best interest of Carolina football throughout his tenure. So yeah, it'll be interesting to follow and see. I mean, and I'm not saying don't have opinions. I'm not saying don't be critical and all that. That's not what I'm saying. But I guess just keep the energy consistent. And again, I'm upset, frustrated. I'm disappointed more than anything. But I'm also not going to throw in the towel on the rest of the season. Because if anything, what this season to this point has showed us that we certainly might lose the last 2 and look bad doing it. God, I mean, this team's so inconsistent and erratic, but who knows? Could win the last 2. So we all know what the problems are. We all know what adjustments have to be made. Again, but talking about firing an OC, firing the O-line coach, I mean, I think we all know where we sit on Greg Atkins. Marcus Satterfield's status up in the air. Nothing's going to happen till the season's over anyways. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, let me ask you this question. What happens if South Carolina goes out the next 2 weekends at home at night, stars align again, and you have the type of offensive performance you had against Florida in the last 2? Just say hypothetically crazy that happens. Satterfield going to walk then? People going to want Satterfield fired then? Bro, it's just such a week-to-week thing.
Probably not.
What have you done for me lately, right? You go out and put up 35 on Clemson on that defense, all of a sudden, Satterfield's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And people are going to want him to have an extension. So let's look at the body of work as a whole when it comes to firing or whatever coaches. This isn't a Will Muschamp thing where we already had 4 years of context to go off of. I mean, this is year 1. You know what I mean? So again, if Beamer wants to make the move, if he wants to fire Satterfield, if he's got a guy in mind, I got no issues with it. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you Marcus Satterfield's the greatest OC in college football. He's not. Certainly not. If there's a more proven guy out there with a better track record he can go get, and he's available, maybe it's the guy he originally wanted. Go get him. I'm down. Go get him. Got no issue with that. So,
like, he's going to make the best decision for the university. I feel like he's going to make the best decision, not for himself, maybe a little bit for himself, but he's going to make the right decision that's going to help the program get better as a whole.
right.
Because I can see in his press conferences during the week, like, he loves the University of South Carolina. If he ever winds up leaving, he wants to, I can tell in the press conferences that he wants to leave it a heck of a lot better off than when he got here.
Mm. Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, again, that's what I said when he was hired. And, you know, I don't know how many games Beamer will win or what achievements he'll have at the end of the day, but I do feel confident he will leave the program better off than he found it. I do feel confident in saying that. So again, only time will tell. But again, as disappointing as Saturday was, you reverted back to a lot of the old mistakes you made. And hey, hold people accountable. It's inexcusable. 1.6 yards per carry. It's inexcusable. Giving up the rushing totals you did to Mizzou, it's inexcusable. But there are two great opportunities that lie ahead. And like I said, the ironic thing, the funny thing about this season, it's all boiling down to Carolina Clemson. I mean, nobody's looking past Auburn. I'm excited. I'm fired up for Auburn. I'm fired up for the tailgate. I'm fired up to talk about it all week long. But it is kind of funny because I said this a few weeks ago. It's like the season's all coming down to that game. It's just like an old school Carolina football season where, there's been a couple nice wins here and there. Beating East Carolina was cool. Beating Florida was fun. You beat Clemson, the season just has a totally different take on it than it does otherwise. So
yeah, and if you beat Clemson, there's going to be a party in 5 Points till about 7 a.m.
Right, and I will probably be there. I will probably be a part of it.
I would not be surprised, to be honest with you, if there was a party in 5 Points after if we somehow.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt, no question, no question.
There will be people drinking out of their minds and going crazy.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, no doubt.
Well, all right, man. You have a good rest of your day, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Robbie, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Thanks so much. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Justin says, please don't hate me, but if Marcus is let go, I'm sure Shane already has an OC ready. I see him being smart enough to do that, but my choice. Tony Elliott, say what you want, man. Calls a good game. That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Again, if Shane Beamer's got a guy in mind and he can get him, I got no issues with him letting Satterfield go. If he deems that the offensive output it fell short of his expectations and he feels a change is needed, I got no issues with it, guys. I don't want you guys to think that I'm a Marcus Satterfield defender till the end of time, and I think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, you have to think of how Marcus Satterfield was even higher in the first place, right? The whole deal with Bobo backing out, going to Auburn, Shane had to make a hire and make it quick. So, but again, do I put everything on Satterfield? Do I think play calling is the number one issue in every single game? It's not just play calling. It's not just play calling. So, either way, again, like I told you guys at the top of the show, I feel like a parent today. When you would get in trouble as a kid, you do something stupid, whatever. You get in trouble as a kid, and your parents would look at you and say, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. That's how I feel today. I'm not mad. I'm not kicking and screaming. It hasn't ruined my week, but I'm just disappointed. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Zachary.
Zachary, what's up, man? How are you?
Chris, they reverted back. Cinderella came back from the ball. She's turned back into a pumpkin.
That's it.
Turned back into a pumpkin.
That's it. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Chris, I'm not gonna get upset. I'm not gonna get mad. the old folks have a saying. They have a saying is, if someone shows you who they are, believe them.
I agree. Hey, they are who we thought they were. When somebody shows you their true colors, believe them.
If he's a cheater, he's a cheater. She's a cheater, she's a cheater. That's who they are at the end of the day. You can't fight it. That's who they are.
Hmm.
There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do. You can't kick. You can't scream. It happened. It's over. On to Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you do? I mean, again, it was a like I said, I think all my longtime Gamecocks saw this one coming, and as much as I hate to say that, all my longtime Gamecocks kind of felt like, at least at minimum, this was a possibility. And that's why I said at the top of the show again, man, that, I said to the people I was surrounded by Saturday about 10 minutes before kickoff, I said, I'm optimistic. Obviously, I picked us to win, but nothing will surprise me. And so that's why watching that game, literally none of it surprised me. None of it.
Yeah. I was cautiously optimistic. I was saying that even if, you Mizzou, at best, you're probably a hair better than Mizzou. If not, you're probably evenly matched with Mizzou. It's like, can you just get one or two stops? Can Jason Brown just make one or two more plays than Basilak? Can you do that? And it's like, like I said, it all just happened. It happened the way it happened.
It did, man. And again, it's a pretty simple formula. When you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, just going to be hard to win games. And that was unfortunately really, truly, man, when you look at the statistics, it's crazy the game was as close as it was. I mean, I know they, you made that late comeback, so maybe you made the game closer than it probably should have been. But, it's kind of wild the game was as close as it was when you got dominated up front like you did. So, there's no secret. There's no secret. I guess that's the gift and the curse, man, is what the problem is. We know what it is. Winning in the trenches. That's the problem. Everyone, like I said last week, everybody looks better when you can run the football. And when you can't, you get what you got on Saturday. Bottom line.
Yeah, and that's what drove me crazy. I'm like, there are some people on Instagram and Twitter like, how many yards will Jason Brown throw? I'm like, how many yards is Kevin Harris going to rush for? How many yards is Marshawn Lowe going to rush for? How many yards is White going to rush for? Can we give like all three of them over 100? Because I'll be happy with that if that happens. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Indeed, my friend. This team is, on one hand, I want to say they're hard to figure out, but on the other hand, not really. I mean, this team is who it is, and you just got to hope and pray that maybe, just maybe, again, you're playing two imperfect teams the rest of the way out. But you just got to hope and pray that maybe this team's got one more game in it, that it can play out of its ass yet again up front in the line of scrimmage and push somebody around. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you kind of, again, I said it after Texas A&M, people want to say, oh, this team's regressed. I don't know, man. I kind of think you've just kind of been what you are all year. You know what I mean? You haven't blocked anybody all season outside of Florida, really. So unfortunately, you just kind of are what you are, and you hope that maybe that can be good enough to win one of the last two.
Yeah, I would call regression is they shown the ability to do it, and then all of a sudden it's like they can't do it. It's like you know how to tie your shoes and you just don't. But they couldn't run block, and they still can't run block.
Right. Outside of a flash in the pan kind of night against Florida, and just you got to have more than one game sample size to show that, oh, they can do it. You know what I mean? It's like it isn't like we started out hot running the football and then we've gotten worse and worse and worse. I mean, it's been since the first snap of the 2021 season that we couldn't run the football with any consistency. So,
yeah. One thing I hope is that, finally Zeb and Luke can finally get not get respect, because, respect is not given, but finally get the reprieve. Right. They see that All we had to do was just go to Jason Brown, and everything clicked. We put in Jason Brown. Jason Brown started, and they still couldn't figure it out. So I had people saying that, they changed because of the quarterback. I'm like, so you're trying to tell me that the offensive line basically just decided we don't like the quarterback you picked, so we're just not going to be able to run block. Because if so, then Shane Beamer has a lot of problems to fix there.
Right. I mean, it's funny, man. And again, this is only I don't know, that thought process, that theory that, when a certain quarterback comes in that, well, these guys know he should have been QB1 the whole time. These guys believe in him more than somebody. If you're a player and you play that way, you should have your scholarship ripped. No question. If you're going to play harder for one guy, your job ain't to worry about who the damn quarterback is. Your job is to go play and execute your position. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
to insinuate, that, well, these guys play harder for one quarterback than another, that's just total bullshit, man. It's just total bullshit, and it's an insult to the other guys that took snaps under center, really. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's no secret. The offensive line, I mean, hey, Jason Brown can't make plays either when he's got to run for his life. And, again, I mentioned earlier, the only quarterback that could survive or thrive even maybe with this offensive line, maybe it's Michael Vick. That's pretty much it. So, I mean, Jason Brown was running around for his life. And, again, I say honestly, though, that's taking nothing away from Jason because I think he played fairly decently, all things considered. So, just got to run the football, man. Got to run the football.
It reminded me a lot of Luke's performance against Kentucky. It reminded me a lot, as in he's really trying. He's trying, and it's just not working. It reminded me a lot of that. It's like Luke was out there trying, just like Jason was out there trying, and it just wasn't working.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. I agree with you 110%.
All right, Chris. You have a good one.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the call. Good stuff as always. 843-790-3377. Tell me, guys, that's 843-790-3377. Guys, we're rocking and rolling here on a Monday, November the 15th, 2021. You guys are staying hot with the questions. Absolutely love it. Again, we're going to take one final break here on this Monday, November the 15th, 2021. The Daily Crow is rolling on, guys. We're taking more of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. We just have a little bit over 20 minutes to go here on a Monday, November the 15th, 2021. A little more than 20 minutes to go here on a Monday. Let's see. Robert Hazel says, White is by far our best back. Let Lloyd play on the scout squad. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I will tell you this. I got a clip coming out on social media a little bit later as well, guys. You know, is it time we admit that Zaquandre White is the best running back on this roster? I mean, seriously, with the way he's played, the way he runs the football, I think Quan White, man, needs to be much more involved. So, Tyrell Campbell Sr. says, I think Jason Brown played well. Only critique I have is that I think he should take off and run more. I'll tell you this. I don't think Jason Brown's the reason you lost the football game. Again, there's just not a single quarterback that could succeed behind that offensive line. There's just not. There's just not. So Brian Dean says Josh Heupel's putting up numbers, but at the end of the day, the Vols are 5-5 as well. Exactly. Coach Ford says we need the right OC. We need someone like Jeff Levy, Kendall Briles, or Garrett Riley. Who do you think has had a more compelling season, Tennessee or South Carolina? Coach Ford, does it matter? You're still 5-5. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you. Want to continue to hear from you. In case you missed it, South Carolina Clemson, a night game, 7:30 kickoff under the lights at Williams-Brice Stadium. Coach Ford, Chris, you can't be that thick. Take out the garnet lens and say, who'd you go play for if you had the choice? South Carolina, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Georgia. Okay, again, South Carolina, Tennessee, why are they both in that conversation with those other schools? I mean, and hey, that's why recruiting's the thing. And I'm sure the exact same thing was said. I'm sure the exact same thing was said back in 2006, 7, 8 when South Carolina was winning 6 games a year under Steve Spurrier. So you can always have that argument, man. You can always have that argument. So Daddy Go says, still blows my mind how many night games that we have had. How many night games? Yeah, it's crazy, man. Hey, I'm not complaining. So, Coach Ford, I'm a Gamecock. Grew up in the state of South Carolina. I would go play for the University of South Carolina. So, call me crazy. I would. John Gibbs, DJ Uyunglele isn't going to hear a damn thing next weekend if the Carolina fans show up and pack it out with a tiny bit of orange that's only supposed to be there. Yeah, John, definitely. I'll be screaming Pack Willie B all week next week. The content's going to be absolutely lit next week. And I'm also thinking about bringing back doing like a pregame show before the Clemson game, maybe from the tailgate. Maybe we'll do the TSUS tailgate show live from Seawells. Could do that. Maybe hit up Jay's Corner again. Could do that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know yet. But I think that's something that could be a lot of fun. Maybe even just do it in the morning before we go to the tailgate. Maybe do it in the morning. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm thinking about doing like a little story time Monday through Friday in the afternoon. Do like a long form post on social media. So, anyways, though, next week is next week. Next week is next week. It is what it is. Next week is next week. So, this week you got the Auburn Tigers. Great opportunity at home under the lights again. Night game. I mean, you couldn't ask for a much better scenario, guys. You couldn't ask for a much better scenario. Bottom line. James Kendall says, I'm sure you'll be in fantastic shape about 5 p.m. Oh, yeah, the tailgate's going to be a good one. The tailgate's going to be a good one, James. Going to be a real good one. By the way, guys, quick side note reminder. A lot of new pieces. A lot of new pieces on tsus.store. Tons of new pieces. We got all your favorite designs in Garnet now, Garnet hoodies. Of course, along with all of our other merch, guys. I think probably today is the last day I can guarantee the Clem Sucks merch will be to you by kickoff if you order today. So again, if you want that merch for the Clemson game, I highly suggest you go get it right now. Otherwise, we're going to be pushing the merch hard over the next month or so with Christmas right around the corner. So definitely, if you're thinking about getting something for Christmas, hey, we're going to run specials for Black Friday. We're going to run specials at random in December. So tsus.store, that is where you can find all of our merchandise. Also, guys, if you do want to support the business, support the channel, support the content, support everything we do, you can. And you're on YouTube through Super Chat, Super Stickers. And again, really appreciate those who have done so. Jeff Gullich says, I have a bad feeling about this weekend. I hope the guys get a fire under their asses, but after last week's game for Auburn, they're going to come angry and ready to play. I just hope we're ready to play too. Yeah, that's the interesting thing, man. That's the interesting thing is, like, you look at these two teams. You got one team in South Carolina that is coming off of a very, very disappointing, blowing a 28-3 lead, similar to the Falcons type of game, blowing a huge lead against Mississippi State, losing in just heartbreaking fashion. And you got another team in South Carolina who's coming off of a very disappointing loss on the road to Mizzou. So it's like, it's what's the morale on both sides? You know what I mean? I think that's certainly a huge storyline to follow over the course of this week for sure. Clemson Tigers says Chris Phillips hyping up the Clemson game just to wallow in his misery and drown his sorrows in beer after Clemson wimps that ass. Well, Clemson Tigers, win or lose, we booze. And I would also say this, South Carolina could be 30-point underdogs, and I would still hype up Carolina Clemson week. It just is what it is. It's rivalry week. It is what it is, man. But again, this week, it's Auburn week. It's Auburn week. All my homies hate Mike Bobo. Again, guys, would love to hear from you all here on this Monday, November the 15th, 2021. Just 15 minutes to go here on this Monday. Going to be chatting with Alex McGrath shortly after we get off of here. So going to be a really, really good time. Yes, Bo Nix is out. The backup quarterback for Auburn is TJ Finley, the player who played for LSU last year against us, who lit us up. So that's another huge storyline in this ball game. Can the Gamecocks combat TJ Finley? Will there be a repeat of last season in Baton Rouge? Hopefully not. But, yeah, so another huge storyline in this ball game for sure. Apparently the betting line, for those who are interested, the betting line is out. The betting line is out for Bama, Georgia in the SEC title. Georgia, a 3-point favorite over the Crimson Tide. So I'm sure many will jump on Alabama. I'm sure many will. Brian Dean, Auburn is 6-4. We're 5-5. Anything can happen. Indeed. And hey, you beat them last year. You beat them last year. You beat them last year. And Bo Nix is out. Who knows, man? Who knows? Again, like I mentioned, guys, the Mizzou game of the weekend, you might notice here on this Monday, I'm not nearly as upset. I mean, there's certainly things that happen over the weekend that are maddening. I mean, the number one thing is the 1.6 yards per carry you had on the ground. That's the most maddening thing for sure. You know, am I shocked what happened? We talked all last week being cautiously optimistic. Stress on the word cautiously. I think we all knew what could happen. We all knew what could happen. And the real Gamecock fans deep down probably expected it to happen. And that's why I said about 10 minutes before kickoff, nothing will surprise me. And so sure enough, I sit here on a Monday, and I'm not totally shocked. But I also say that last 2 games as well. Nothing will surprise me. If Carolina goes out against Auburn and finds a way to get the W, it won't surprise me, guys. It won't surprise me. If they lose by 3 touchdowns, won't surprise me. So, they are who we thought they were. You know, this team is what it is. And that's all it is, which is okay. What you are could be good enough to win one of the last 2, but, you know, just a roster that has deficiencies, has areas that need to be improved, and, you know, a first-year coaching staff trying to figure it out on the go. Again, that's I feel like it's kind of a bad excuse to use this late in the season. But, guys, again, we're 10 games in. We're 10 games in. The offensive line isn't going to make some magical turnaround, most likely, in the final 2 weeks. I know it happened against Florida, but you kind of just are what you are, in my opinion. So, again, guys, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. Just 10 minutes to go here on a Monday. Just 10 minutes to go. Again, it is Auburn week. It is Auburn week, a very big week for Gamecocks football. A very, very big week. So, you got a huge 2 weeks. And it's like I just told you guys before, man, earlier in the show, though. Top of the show. One of the greatest takeaways of all from this weekend and over the last couple of weeks, really the last month, is that it's a wise idea not to overreact one way or the other. It's a wise idea not to overreact one way or the other. We knew it'd be a roller coaster ride. We knew it'd be up and down. And here we are. And here we are. So, Brian Dean switching to basketball says basketball team looked good yesterday. Devin Carter had a nice game, 16 points. Yeah, some good young talent on that basketball team. And again, that's the challenge of early in the season. Can those pieces come together quickly, especially with Keyshawn Bryant being out? Again, this Thursday against UAB, I think Brian's a really, really big one. I think this is one against a non-conference foe I think you really need. You know, I'll be totally honest. I want a reason to be excited for Gamecocks basketball. I do, because I came into the season with low expectations, you know, and that loss to Princeton. Listen, Princeton might turn out to be some great team and make the tournament, but the fact of the matter is they didn't even have a season last year. And you lost to them, and it put a sour taste in our mouths, I think, even after, really for me, you know, watching the game last night against Western Kentucky. It would have been a lot more fun had South kind of found a way to win that game Friday. But OU owns you. What's going on, my guys? It's called me crazy. Carolina will win one of the games left, but man, it was a tough weekend for both of us. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, it really was. Really was a tough weekend for many teams. So, yep, Baylor taking you guys down. You know, obviously the Mizzou game for us. So, again, I just wish I could sit here on a Monday and say I'm totally shocked, and I'm just not. And again, what's crazy is that result on Saturday, it really doesn't take any of my excitement away for the final 2 games. It really doesn't. Because, I mean, again, I think there's many reasons to be excited. You know, you're at home at night. I mean, I really personally don't need more than that. I don't personally need more. And the storylines, though, around these games, the storylines around them with, you know, Bobo, your arch rival. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be excited. A lot of reasons to be excited, for sure. Coach Ford says, thank God we did not hire Aranda. Jeff Gullis, I'm just tired of being disappointed. I'm ready to turn the narrative around. Hey, it's going to take time. going to take time. Going to take time, my friend. Going to take time. Got to go get some big-time ball players, make adjustments within your staff if necessary. Again, for those who entered the 2021 season with realistic expectations, I guess that's – I don't know why you'd be kicking and screaming and upset. It's like, I picked us to go 6-6. We're right on schedule. Again, has the way it's happened been a little funky, been a little wonky? Sure. But we're right on schedule for that. It'd be different if the expectations coming into the season were 10-2. But they weren't. You know? So, yeah, things need to be changed. Things need to be tinkered with, and adjustments have to be made. But to imply and insinuate we've had some abysmal year, it's just false. It's just false. Again, I'd say with all things considered, if we go 6-6, we had a great year. Truly. All things considered, I'd say we had a great year. Again, what's funny is I actually had you losing. I had you losing to Mizzou in the preseason. Had you losing to Mizzou. Coach Ford says, I picked 5 and 7. The way we look is too familiar. If we continue this pathway, this is as good as it gets. Well, again, Coach Ford, I'm going to at least give Beamer and company the opportunities to make adjustments. I'm just going to at least give them the chance. There would have been no benefit to firing someone in the middle of the season outside of satisfying folks like you on social media. And that ain't a good reason to do anything. OU owns you since I'll be flying into Columbia tomorrow, visiting family for Thanksgiving. Plan on coming out to Tin Roof. They say they'll also take me to the Clemson game. It'll be my first. Dude, yeah, please come by. Got a beer waiting on you, OU owns you, if you can have it. But, no, dude, I appreciate it, man. That'll be awesome. That'll be incredible. Yeah, Willie B should be rocking for Carolina Clemson. I mean, it should be rocking. So. Travis says, definitely could be worse. That's a fact. That's a fact, Travis. It could be worse. It could be worse. No question. It could be worse. Sven Webster, busy day. We've already won more than we were supposed to. Future is bright. Yeah, again, do adjustments need to be made in the offseason? Again, that's why you're paying Shane Beamer what you are. I think Greg Atkins needs to walk. And, hey, if there's an OC out there that Shane Beamer maybe initially wanted or he thinks is the home run guy, then part your ways with Satterfield and move on. If Satterfield I will say this, if Satterfield returns next season, it will not be my, and I know this is going to happen from people, but it will not be, well, Beamer's not the answer. He's not the right guy. Again, though, we're in an instant gratification culture. People want things right now, right now, right now. I get it. I get it. Again, is it all on play calling? Is some of it on personnel? Let's make sure we spread blame to all parties. Hey, let's also spread some blame to the defense. God, if you just stop the run Saturday, you win the ball game. Shocking concept, right? You stop the run, you probably win the ball game. Why can't you stop the run? Are you undersized on the defensive line? Are your linebackers just that bad? Why can you not stop the run? Why have we not been able to stop the run for years now? Why can't you stop the run? Someone explain to me why the Gamecocks cannot stop the run. Because that's been a theme too. I like Clayton White. Keep him around. But my God, maybe Jimmy Lindsey should catch some heat. Because with all that talent I hear about that you got up there, I mean, why can't you stop the run, man? You let one guy run for 200 on you. And Coach Ford, of course, has to chime in. D gave you 4 turnovers. You're going to blame the defense. I'm not putting all the blame on them, Coach Ford, but everybody should share some blame. The team lost, didn't they? Did the offense lose the game or did the team lose the game? Team lost the game. Hard to win when you give up 258 yards rushing. Team lost the game, man. You can talk Satterfield till you're blue in the face, but the team lost the game. And if you want to bitch and moan that the defense, don't come play college football if you don't want to be on the field and play. That's it. Don't let your opponent go 7 for 14 on third downs if you don't want to be on the field for a long time. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, the team lost. The team did. Not just the offense, the team did. You scored 28 points. I mean, again, I'm not taking, put the blame on the offense, but let's share blame to everyone. Yeah, how about the Panthers and Cam Newton, right, making his return? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ryan Cawthorn says Tennessee turned the roster around in one offseason, hitting the portal. We need quality players to fill the gaps. This offseason, indeed, yeah, you got holes to fill that, you know, I think there's definitely quality players in the portal you can go grab for sure. And I would have to think that's what they're going to do. Probably not to the level you did last year. What'd you grab, like 13 guys on the portal? But if you can upgrade your roster, you can upgrade a position unit by grabbing a guy in the portal, absolutely need to do it. So, got it again, guys. We're about to hit 2 o'clock, so a couple quick reminders. Episode 536 of the podcast did drop this morning. Full breakdown of everything that happened over the weekend. Missouri game, basketball, of course, a great conversation as well. Throwback convo with former Gamecocks offensive lineman Muschamp Goddard. Tin Roof Wednesday, TSUS tailgate on Saturday. Got a packed week this week on the podcast, the daily crawl, that good stuff. Guys, Therapy Monday is in the books. Appreciate you all. Thank you all so much. Never forget the beauties in the banter. And I really appreciate each and every single one of your comments, your questions, everything else. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and we'll talk to you